The parliament to which he refers to as a temple of democracy cannot be a temple where he makes a statement outside the parliament and doesn't make any statement inside. We've been raising the fact that BJP leaders and leaders from the region, from the Northeast region, and important leaders in Delhi are in talks with underground militant groups only to secure vote for the BJP in the past assembly election and past elections. It's very well for Prime Minister to go to government functions and political rallies when no one can question him. Why is he running away from the parliament? We know the no confidence motion would be defeated, but the aim is not numbers. The aim is that the people of Manipur deserve justice, and the people of India deserve to know the truth as to why the Prime Minister, someone who is normally so hands-on, is being completely silent on the issue of Manipur. In the long run, it is these mainstream media who are losing their credibility, in leaps and bounds, and giving the space to independent media, to independent journalists, and that's going to be the future. So the mainstream media is, in a way, killing itself. We want the Prime Minister to lead an all-party delegation to Manipur, of which we will be part of, and we want the Prime Minister to explain to us that how his double-engine government have miserably failed.
Hello and welcome to News Laundry interview. I'm Pratyush Deep. Today we have with us Congress's Deputy Leader in Lok Sabha, Gaurav Gogoi. Gaurav is an MP from Assam and the son of Assam's former Chief Minister, late Tarun Gogoi. Welcome to News Laundry interview, Gaurav.
Thank you so much.
Gaurav, you have recently visited Manipur as a part of the opposition's delegation. What did you see there? What is your assessment of the situation in Manipur?
Well, we went there with an open mind. We went there to listen to the people of Manipur. We went to 6 relief camps, and we met with representatives from across civil society organizations. People in Manipur are living in a permanent state of fear and insecurity. Those who are living in relief camps have no idea when they will return to their villages. Those who are living in other parts of Manipur bemoan the fact that the state has been so divided on ethnic lines that it is really hard for them to imagine when can they see peace and normalcy in Manipur again. So overall, we got a sense of deep fear, deep insecurity, and extreme disenchantment with the law and order machinery, the constitutional machinery, whether that is the state government or the central government.
What do you think actually went wrong out there in Manipur when you visited the state? Did you get any inputs? What exactly went wrong?
Well, Manipur, like any other state in the Northeast, has had a very complicated past. It has witnessed violence between various communities in the past also. So it is a state which is on the border of India. So it has many such issues. But the first responsibility of any state government is to provide safety and security to its citizens. People in a state can have their own political and democratic aspirations, and they have their own issues which they can raise in a non-violent but democratic way. What we saw going wrong was the complete absence of law and order, a complete lack of direction to the state police forces or the central armed forces, and therefore abject irresponsibility on the part of the Chief Minister and the Union Home Minister. There is absolutely no reason why the central armed forces or the state police did not get the adequate intelligence that they are people carrying sophisticated weapons. They did not have adequate protection around their police battalions where a large number of weapons are stored, but over the past 3 months have been looted. Even 2 days ago, we've heard about how a police station was looted and mobs have been allowed to walk away with sophisticated weapons. Now, if this kind of looting on a large scale by mobs had happened in any other part of India, the state government would have been held to task, the Union Home Ministry would have been held to task. But for some reason, the BJP, the central government, the Prime Minister, the Union Home Minister continues to cover up for the failures of the state government, of the Chief Minister. And that's why the situation has only gone from bad to worse. I don't think that this situation took a violent turn only over the last 3 months since May. We've been raising the fact that BJP leaders and leaders from the region, from the Northeast region, and important leaders in Delhi are in talks with underground militant groups only to secure vote for the BJP in the past assembly election and past elections. And there has been a lot of financial resources given to these underground groups, a lot of promises given to these underground groups only for the vested interests of the BJP. And that plays a crucial role as to the state of lawlessness and the complete abandonment and brazenness in which various groups are now operating on the ground with weapons. And unfortunately, it is the Indian armed forces who are standing as a buffer, and they are being shot at, they are being assaulted, irrespective of whether they are in the hills or in the valleys. So our Indian armed forces are at risk only because of the lawlessness and the political design of the BJP.
So, but we have also seen the parliament has seen disruptions over the Manipur issue for the last 2 weeks. And do you think this kind of disruptions can bring any solution to the Manipur issue?
The disruptions are to force the Prime Minister to come to the parliament and appeal to the people of Manipur to come together and have a dialogue and come forward and rebuild the state. So far, it has been close to 90 days and the Prime Minister has made no such effort. The Prime Minister has made no appeal. The Prime Minister has not visited the state. You know, this is a BJP government in which a lot of the decision-making powers rest in the Prime Minister's office. So the responsibility of what is happening in Manipur cannot be blamed on anybody else. The responsibility lies at the very centralized structure of the BJP union government, at the very doorstep of the Prime Minister's office. And that is why we've been focusing as India Alliance parties that let the Prime Minister come to the parliament, make a statement as to how does his government plan to bring about peace in Manipur. Now, this is an obvious request. This is what people of Manipur want. And for some reason, the Prime Minister has been avoiding the parliament. For some reason, even now, the Prime Minister is choosing to talk on every other subject, but on the subject of Manipur.
But at the same time, BJP has been alleging that they want to discuss the Manipur issue, but it is the opposition which is not allowing it to do so in the parliament. Like, what is the opposition's problem with Home Minister Amit Shah making a statement on the same in the House?
The Union Home Minister has completely failed. He visited Manipur in the past. He constituted a 51-member peace committee, none of which has seen any result on the ground. Still, as I said, police stations are being looted. So the Union Home Minister has nothing to show for, nothing new to say. But as I said, in such a time of conflict, political leadership is very important. The words of a Home Minister is very different from the words of a Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is not there just to speak at government functions or to speak at political rallies. He is there at the time of conflict to give a message of sympathy, to emphasize. And a healing touch is now required, which is completely absent because the Prime Minister is just choosing to be indifferent to this issue.
Gaurav, you have also moved a no confidence motion in the parliament. And what do you actually want to achieve from this motion? Because given the numbers, we all know it is likely to be defeated in the Lok Sabha. So what do you want to achieve? What the Congress party, we hope to achieve from it?
No, we want a clear statement from the Prime Minister appealing for peace. We want the Prime Minister to outline what is his roadmap in order to bring the warring communities on the negotiating table. We want the Prime Minister to lead an all-party delegation to Manipur, of which we will be part of. And we want the Prime Minister to explain to us that how his double-engine government have miserably failed. As the Supreme Court Chief Justice has observed, it's been a breakdown of the constitutional machinery. So everyone has a lot of questions to ask. It's very well for Prime Minister to go to government functions and political rallies when no one can question him. Why is he running away from the Parliament? We know the no confidence motion would be defeated, but the aim is not the numbers. The aim is that the people of Manipur deserve justice, and the people of India deserve to know the truth as to why the Prime Minister, someone who is normally so hands-on, is being completely silent on the issue of Manipur.
So there has been disruptions, protests by the opposition, and there is a no confidence motion as well. Meanwhile, we have seen the government has passed many important bills. So what is exactly the politics of opposition in the House? Like the strategy or the politics?
The India Alliance is very firm that the Prime Minister has a constitutional and a moral obligation to the people of India. The Parliament, to which he refers to as a temple of democracy, cannot be a temple where he makes a statement outside the Parliament and doesn't make any statement inside. Indian parliamentary democracy is recognized across the world. We are known for our rich parliamentary tradition. We want to protect that. We want to preserve that. And I think when the Prime Minister does speak at the end of the no confidence motion, our objectives would be met.
So it's all about the Prime Minister making a statement on the Manipur, basically, the opposition's whole strategy so far.
The opposition strategy is for the Prime Minister to appeal for peace, for the Prime Minister to announce how does he plan to rehabilitate those 50,000 people who are displaced. How will universities function when there's an internet shutdown? How will the arms, more than 5,000 sophisticated weapons, how will they be restored so that there is no more law and order issues? I want the Prime Minister to explain that how has his double-engine government failed so miserably. So because this is no longer an issue of law and order, there have been multiple human rights abuses, not only against women, but against children, against elderly. And most importantly, the social contract that existed, the trust and the brotherhood and fraternity that existed between the Meitei community and Kuki community, how does he plan to restore that? And if he doesn't speak, how will we restore this? Otherwise, the kind of tension that exists in Manipur, the kind of conflict that exists between the people of the two communities, it will take decades for it to heal. So for all these reasons, we feel that we cannot avoid a discussion on Manipur inside the Parliament. Again, the statement should have a clear roadmap for peace. The statement should have a clear appeal for peace. The statement should have facts as to how his government have failed. The statement should have a package for relief and rehabilitation. More than 50,000 people are displaced. The statement should have that how now the conflict, instead of spreading to other parts of the Northeast state like Mizoram or Assam, we should again talk about one Northeast, one Manipur and one India.
So when it comes to Northeast, Gaurav, BJP often blames the Congress for the underdevelopment. Even the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has recently tweeted, I'm reading his tweet, where he said that for the last 70 years, Northeast suffered from geographical isolation, political instability and imbalanced development because of the divide and rule ploys by the Congress party. So how do you want to respond to this? Like always BJP says, we give more importance to the Northeast, not like the Congress who have ignored the region for the last 70 years.
I mean, these are mere political statements which are very light, which are not based in any fact. They are just allegations. If you look at the history of the Northeast, right from Indiraji's days, from Pandit Nehru's days, Rajiv Gandhi's days, they've all understood, all these great leaders have understood the political aspirations of the tribes and communities living in the Northeast. It was the Congress which led to a Shillong Accord. It was a Congress which led to an Assam Accord. It was a Congress government which led to the Mizo Accord. It was a Congress government which established a hill council in the Darjeeling area of West Bengal as well. So Congress has always been sensitive and to the diversity of the Northeast. We don't impose an alien concept on the Northeast. We believe that the Northeast is like mini India, where various communities and tribes live together, and we want to preserve that. We want to celebrate every language. We don't believe in one language. We want to celebrate every religion. We don't believe in one religion. We want to celebrate every community, no matter how small or how big they are. We believe in the concept of equality, and we believe in the concept that many tribes and many communities need to have a certain form of autonomy. After all, as Rahul Gandhi ji said, that India is a union of states, and we've always looked at the Northeast as a beautiful union of various languages, customs and communities. So, that's the history of India, that's the history of the Northeast, that's the history of the Congress party. And, because Prime Minister Modi does not want to speak on Manipur, he surrounded himself with certain bouncers, bouncers so that the attention gets deflected away from the Prime Minister. So whether that's the Chief Minister of one state or his union cabinet ministers, they're all acting like bouncers in order to deflect the attention of Manipur away from the Prime Minister, because the Prime Minister cares so much about his image. This entire government is rallying to defend the image of the Prime Minister, but in doing so, they have forgotten to defend the integrity of Manipur. They have forgotten to defend the dignity of women, and they've forgotten to defend the future of the young people of Manipur.
So, since we are talking about Himanta Biswa Sarma, what Himanta Biswa Sarma said about the Congress, but we also know Himanta Biswa Sarma became powerful during the time of your late father Tarun Gogoi. So, you must have seen him very closely. So, being a congressman during that time, and presently the Himanta Biswa Sarma, whom we have seen on the social media as well as the media making odd statements, be it on the Barack Obama, be it on the Rahul Gandhi looking like Saddam Hussein and all. So, how do you see his political transition, since you know him well, I believe?
No, it's I see this as the BJP's famous washing machine, Nirma Surf Excel washing powder in action. Because when Himanta Biswa Sarma was in the Congress, he was BJP's enemy number one. And when he joins the BJP, all his crimes are washed away, all his sins have forgotten. What he said when he was in Congress party against Chief Minister of Gujarat, at that time Narendra Modi ji, all that is forgotten. So whether it's Himanta Biswa Sarma, whether it is Ajit Pawar in Maharashtra, whether it is Jyotiraditya Scindia, this is BJP's famous washing machine and example. So it is the BJP's double standards and the double speak that is exposed. And all of these people who joined BJP, they have to undo the past. So when they were in Congress, they criticized Prime Minister Modi so much. All those cannot all those words cannot be wiped away from memory. So they have to continue undergo, one form of loyalty test or the other, just so that they are protected from Enforcement Directorate and such, so that the CBI cases over them, the files are never opened. So these are all statements which are kind of examples of the BJP's double standards, washing machine, and these people, they have to keep going through these loyalty tests. That's how I think it is.
So Sarma was also the first person to attack the newly formed India Alliance, and even later Prime Minister Modi also attacked India Alliance over the changing of the name. So my question is, what was the necessity to name it India? What do you think?
Well, I think it's a beautiful name. I think it comes from Rahul Gandhi ji's Bharat Jodo Yatra, in which we said that the yatra is about uniting all Indians, whether you support the Congress ideology or whether you're not. But right now we live in an environment of hate, divisiveness, where we have forgotten how to debate and dialogue with those who have a different point of view. We've forgotten how to celebrate our diversity. We all live in our communities, we all live in our social bubbles. So the Bharat Jodo Yatra was the first example that what India needs right now is not polarization, but we need a united India. And I think that has led to a united alliance. And the united opposition alliance believes in the idea of India, that India across the world, the India that we grew up in, the idea that is celebrated across the world, that India is a nation where democracy thrives, where plurality thrives, where people can live together despite having vast differences, but we all live together as fellow citizens. That's the idea of India that we want to defend. That's the idea of India which is under attack from Prime Minister Modi and his style of politics. So I think it's a beautiful name, and you can see that the name has already had an impact, because everywhere the PM goes, he keeps talking about our alliance. So in a way, he's advertising our alliance more than we are able to do so, because our speeches do not get the live telecast that the Prime Minister gets. So he's doing our job. I would like to thank the Prime Minister and Home Minister, who also kept referring to the India Alliance. It shows that this name has given them sleepless nights. And after India alliance got constituted, they thought that, oh, we also have an NDA. They've remembered the old NDA alliance and constituted a greater NDA meeting in which they invited parties who I'm sure that Prime Minister Modi has never heard of, and Prime Minister Modi has never met them before. So we can see that the name is giving an alternative narrative and vision to the people, and they have accepted, and people of India has accepted this.
So you have just mentioned that your speeches, your things doesn't get published in the mainstream channels, or it is not publicized as the speech of the Prime Minister Modi. Do you see the attitude of the mainstream media towards the opposition as well as the ruling party is different? It is biased?
No, I think mainstream media is shooting itself in the foot. They are damaging their own reputation. They are damaging their own credibility by not doing independent journalism. Their narrative and their agenda is set by the Prime Minister's office. And while it might be a short-term gain for the Prime Minister and for these media channels, because they are free from intimidation, they are free from coercion, but in the long run, it is these mainstream media who are losing their credibility, in leaps and bounds, and giving the space to independent media, to independent journalists, and that's going to be the future. So the mainstream media is, in a way, killing itself.
So recently there has been also discussion on the social media related to this kind of hate mongering that we see in prime times of the mainstream media channels. And there has been also talk of opposition government should not give them the money for their schemes, publicity schemes as well. So what is your view on it? The Congress is thinking of such kind of a boycotting mainstream media in terms of giving advertisement?
No, as you say, when the party does a press conference, or when Rahul Gandhi ji is addressing a rally, he always addresses everyone. Why should we, create a divide between mainstream media and non-mainstream media? We are saying this for the media establishment, for them to introspect. At the same time, Rahul Gandhi ji always says that the reason for the mainstream media behaving in this manner is because they are being intimidated, they are being coerced, they are being arm twisted, and if they still follow an independent line, then they are simply being bought over. So Rahul Gandhi has always said that I understand the pressure that media is. It's for the media to choose whether they want to live by Rahul Gandhi's principle of Daro Mat, don't be afraid, follow the truth, follow the principles of journalism, or as I said, they might choose to practice this form of access journalism, but understand that janta sab janti hai, janta janardhan hai. People can see through this, and people will then, the customers, the viewers will themselves shift to other sources of news.
Even recent trends, if you have seen that the government is also like moving towards the new media. You can say that the online YouTubers, influencers. We have seen interviews of the cabinet minister by popular YouTubers and the influencers. How do you see this trend, like the new trend that the government's focus is shifting toward the YouTubers and the new media?
Well, as I said, this is happening because the reach of mainstream media is diminished, it's saturated, it might be even shrinking. And independent media, and independent is very necessary to stress, independent media, their audience is growing at the expense of mainstream media. So no doubt the government has this huge advertisement budget, and they can choose to spend both on mainstream media and on influencers on social media. But again, as I said, people are very smart. They understand the difference between propaganda and fact. They understand the difference between fake news and ground-based reporting. So people can see through that, and and we saw this during the Bharat Jodo Yatra as well, that we were not getting the kind of coverage that we expected in mainstream media. But yet, even though the Bharat Jodo Yatra was not passing through my home state of Assam, every village, in my constituency, every village in Assam knew what the message that Rahul Gandhi ji was trying to send through the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So information and truth will always percolate through this artificial wall that the BJP is trying to create. People do not want to live in bubbles. People want to have agency. People want to have the freedom to choose. And I think freedom is one key principle that the India Alliance wants to represent in the upcoming elections. While this government says, do your duty, we believe that, it is our duty, government's duty or political's duty to fight for the rights of citizens. And the rights of citizens are getting further and further annihilated under this government. They are very centralized. They believe in surveillance. They believe in giving diktats and orders. And India Alliance, we believe in empowering citizens. We feel that we are here to carry out the advice given by citizens to us, and we are not here to give them any instructions.
So there has been also a lot of discussion about the Congress's social media strategy. Like since the Bharat Jodo Yatra, it has been like, the Congress's social media strategy has been in discussion in the media. So is there any, do you want to tell us about it? Like, how the Congress is there any change in the approach to the media and the social media from the Congress party?
No, as I said, we've been forced to understand and appreciate the power of social media, because mainstream media has just shut their doors to opposition. The mainstream media will pose questions to the opposition, but will hardly, pose questions to the establishment. Journalism is all about speaking truth to power. But today, journalism for mainstream media has become all about access to power. So we were forced to innovate. We were forced to look to new avenues. And as I said, all this pressure that came on the communication strategy of Congress, all this pressure only helped us to innovate, to improve, and to strengthen. And that's what happens. When you're put in a difficult situation, you can either perform or perish. And I'm glad that the Congress social media cell and communication cell have performed.
So coming back to Assam, there have been a lot of concern among the opposition over the delimitation process. I think your own constituency will also be not in the similar form if the delimitation has been completed. So what are the concerns? Would you mind to tell us?
Well, we are all going into Lok Sabha elections in 7 to 8 months now. There were 4 states in India which had not undergone delimitation in the past, Assam being one of them. With 7 to 8 months left for the Lok Sabha, the Election Commission, without any consultation with political parties or without setting up a delimitation commission, has gone ahead and proposed a draft which seems as if it has been designed in the BJP party headquarters, because it mirrors their voting patterns in the last assembly election and the last Lok Sabha election. So therefore, we are challenging this in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has taken cognizance, but my advice, a friendly advice to the BJP, if they think that by misusing central agencies like the Election Commission, the Enforcement Directorate, the Central Bureau of Investigation, the Income Tax Department, they are going to win elections in the Lok Sabha or in the next assembly elections, I think they are completely wrong. Look at what has happened in Karnataka, look at what has happened in Himachal, and you will see that even in the upcoming elections, whether it is Chhattisgarh, Congress will win, Madhya Pradesh, Congress will win, Rajasthan, Congress will win, and you will see a new wave in favor of the India Alliance. Already today, the Supreme Court judgment in favor of Rahul Gandhi's case has given a new boost to the India Alliance. Rahul Gandhi ji was attacked by the BJP for speaking the truth about the nexus between Prime Minister Modi and his industrialist friend Mr. Gautam Adani, and now the Supreme Court has stayed Rahul Gandhi ji's case, and therefore Rahul Gandhi ji will be back in Parliament. So all of these efforts by the BJP to misuse the law, to bend, manipulate the law enforcement agencies, to manipulate the Election Commission, come up with some form of delimitation, all of this will prove to naught. In the end, people of India are fed up, and people of India are looking for a fresh set of ideas that the India Alliance will be presenting to them in the days and weeks to come.
So since we are talking about India Alliance as well as you are from the Northeast, what would be India Alliance's strategy in the Northeast? Because we haven't so far seen any major political parties from the Northeast in the India Alliance. So what India Alliance has what is the roadmap of India Alliance for the Northeast?
Well, traditionally the Northeast in the past, in terms of electorally, has seen a battle between the Congress party in the Northeast states and the regional parties of the Northeast states. These two forces have been on opposite ends. All these regional parties could not take on the state units of the Congress party on their own. So they have all come together and they have now aligned themselves with the BJP, and they are part of the Northeast Alliance, the NEDA Alliance. But I call it the Northeast Divide Alliance, because you see it's now Mizoram Chief Ministers passing adverse comments against Manipur Chief Minister. We see in the past that the Meghalaya Chief Minister passed a resolution against his own NDA's Citizenship Amendment Act as well. So their own allies in the Northeast are distancing themselves away from the BJP. So in our case also, not only do we have to strengthen the Congress party in each and every state, especially in the Northeast, we also have to look at new political forces, new emerging political forces, which we've done in Assam as well. In the current context, prior to India Alliance, we have united successfully the opposition parties, independent parties, various organizations. And I think that's the way forward as well. We have to strengthen ourselves and we have to forge new allies.
So my last question to you is, so do you have any plans to play some kind of a bigger role in the state politics of Assam?
No, right now I believe in living in the present. My party has given me the important responsibility in Rajasthan in terms of screening the candidates for the upcoming Rajasthan election. That's a major responsibility. I've already started my work there, and I'm quite confident that Rajasthan will be in our favor. And as I said, that we're all there to fight for the people of India inside Parliament. And right now, we want the people of Manipur to hear their concerns being raised in next week's vote of no confidence against the government, in which I'll be speaking. And as the voice of the Northeast, will be appealing to everyone that let us come together, unite and fight for one Manipur, not two Manipur, a hill Manipur and a valley Manipur. Let us all come together to make one Manipur, one Northeast and a united India.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, Gaurav, for speaking to the News Laundry.
Thank you. Thank you.
The subscription model is something that keeps News Laundry afloat, but we need hundreds and thousands of people to completely transform the news ecosystem. So you pay for news, so it serves you. So click on the link with this video, subscribe to News Laundry and pay to keep news free और गर्व से कहो मेरे खर्च पर आज़ाद है खबरें.